They say the sun shone now and again, but it was generally cloudy with far too much rain. They say the greatest train robbery in history took place. Probably students. Who else would want to steal a train? They say cabinet ministers and osteopaths were particularly vulgar around this time. They say babies were born. Married couples made love, often with each other. And people died, sometimes violently. They say it was an average, ordinary, moderate, run-of-the-mill, common or garden summer. But it wasn't. For I locked a yellow door and I threw away the key, and I spent summer with Monika, and Monika spent summer with me. Unlike everybody else, we made friends with the weather. Most days the sun called and sprawled all over the place, or the wind blew in as breezily as ever, and ran its fingers through our hair. But usually it was the moon that kept us company. Some days we thought about the seaside and built sand castles on the blankets, and paddled in the pillows, or swam in the sink, and played with shoals of dishes. Other days we went for long walks around the table and picnic on the banks of the settee, or just sunbathed lazily in front of the fire until the shilling set on the horizon. We danced a lot that summer, bossa novaed by the bookcase, or Madisoned instead, hully-gullied by the oven, or did the twist in bed. At first we kept birds in a transistor box to sing for us, but sadly they died, we being too embraced in each other to feed them. But it didn't really matter because we made love songs with our bodies. I became the words and she put me to music. They say it was just like any other summer, but it wasn't. For we had love and each other, and the moon for company, when I spent summer with Monika, and Monika spent summer with me. Ten milk bottles standing in the hall, 10 milk bottles up against the wall. Next door neighbour thinks we're dead, hasn't heard a sound he said, doesn't know we've been in bed the 10 whole days since we were wed. No one knows and no one sees, we lovers doing as we please, but people stop and point at these 10 milk bottles are turning into cheese. 10 milk bottles standing day and night, 10 different thicknesses and different shades of white, persistent carol singers without a note to utter, silent carol singers are turning into butter. Now she's run out of passion and there's not much left in me, so maybe we'll get up and make a cup of tea. Then people can stop wondering what they're waiting for. Those 10 milk bottles are queuing at the door. Those 10 milk bottles are queuing at the door. Saturday morning, time for stretching and yawning. The languid, heavy-lidded love-making. The smile, the kiss, the who do you love, and then the weekly confidence trick. The you're saying, it's my turn to make the tea, and the my getting out of bed and making it. Our love will be an epic film with dancing songs and laughter, the kind in which the lovers meet and live happy ever after. Our love will be a famous play with lots of bedroom scenes. You are 22, you are Monika, and only we know what that means. When the moon is waiting for the first bus home and the birds assemble for morning prayers, in the tick-tock blanketness of our Dunlop pillow love, you open your secret door, and I tiptoe into your womb quietly, for fear of waking the alarm clock. You give me the eye, I sigh, and feign disinterest. You pretend to cry and put me to the test. A cunning little ruse, I think, ha-ha, you wink, and far be it from me to refuse. How you love it when you're being teased, the eye that weeps most when best pleased. Last night you turned your back on me, and you loved me for it. I have lately learned to swim, and now feel more at home in the ebb and flow of your slim rhythmic tide than in the fully dressed, couldn't care less, restless world outside. Take a hold of my mind and gently but firmly push it between your thighs into the warm numbness of your womb, and there let it remain safe and in love whilst you go about the house doing your sweet everyday things. This time let there be no goodbyes. Let's still be friends. Parting is such sickly sweet sorrow. Let us hold hands and think not of tomorrow, but of our daily selves, for there's love here, such love as makes unhappiness appear to have mislaid our dress. Monika, I love you more than all my red leather waistcoats, and I will never give you away to the nasty man who lives at the end of the road. If I were a park keeper, I would stroll across the summer lawns of your mind, and with a pointed stick collect all the memories which lie about like empty cigarette packets. And in a distant corner where you could not see, I would burn them in the shade of your love for me. You squeeze my hand and cry a little. You cannot comprehend the waggle-taggle of living, and think it unfair that death should be the only one who knows what he's doing. You're afraid of the big bad dark which loiters in our room. The night it prowls about the yard, the wind howls in distress. The tom moon peeps through the window, waiting for the table to undress. It'll soon be tomorrow, there's nothing to fear. You whisper, never leave me, then put your tongue in my ear. Sometimes at dawn you awake, and naked creep across our orange room, and drawing aside our pretty yellow curtains, gaze at the neat-roofed horizon of our little town, waiting for the sun, screaming with dull pain, to rise like a spark from a crematorium chimney. Then you pitter-pad back to my wrought arms, where tearfully I kiss your handicapped mind, and whisper, it has not always been like this. Knock, knock. Shh, don't open it. It can only be the enemy. Something's got to be done, and done right away. Monika, don't argue, do as I say. I put out the milkman and wound up the maid. It's well after midnight, so don't be afraid. Yes, leave the light on, there's so much to see. Now Monika, take your wig off and lie next to me. You are so very beautiful, I cannot help admiring your eyes, so often sadnessful, and lips so kiss-inspiring. I think about my being in love, and touch the flesh you wear so well. I think about my being in love, and wish you were as well, and wish you were as well. I often have the feeling that when you're tidying the flat, you are not thinking of shoes, newspapers and other things like that, but of a skull-white building where all the inmates talk poetry to scrambled eggs, whistle at operating table legs, and answer to the name of Roger. You don't say anything, but your eyes tell me that my standing naked to seduce the moon and my crying because she walked right past is sadly symptomatic of a fatal attack of push your icy fingers into my brain, it's so hot and lonely here. When the had to happen time came, and you quit our had been happy bed, you pulled the blanket on my head and left me on my sad and lonely own. Now I listen darkly to the memory of your smell, and wonder when the sun will melt the storm. Our love is like a kitten in a well, the death of something young and softly warm, the death of something of uncertain form. Last Sunday morning, when holy pictures fluttered on dusty church floors, when dockers snored and mams went heavy on the gravy browning, you got out of bed and picking up a hatchet whose name was "I love you but we can't go on like this," you murdered me, brutifully. Then with my tears still singing on your hands, you went to your mother's for telly and a lie down. You are a woman of many faces, and the one that suits you best, I fear, is the one you wear when I'm not here. For when you wear your marriage face, boredom lounges around the place. You should never have said that. Now your smiles are white elephants, and your face a photograph to be come across some slow brown Sunday. You should never have said that. Your tongue is a mother without pity. Now love is gone and anonymous, like the death of a bird in a city. Monika, your soup's getting cold. It's cream of chicken too. Why are you looking at me like that? Why have your lips turned blue? We simply can't go on like this, fighting tooth and nail. Why are you looking at me like that? Why has your face grown pale? You're enough to drive a man insane, go completely off his head. Why are you looking at me like that? Why has your dress gone red? The only thing I'm sorry about is that we came to blows. Why are you looking at me like that? Have I got crumbs on my nose? All right, I'm sorry I hit you so hard, but next time do as you're told. Why are you looking at me like that? Monika, your soup's getting cold. Your finger, sadly, has a familiar ring about it. Where have all the fried eggs gone? Pork sausages and bacon, the morning kiss and toothpaste smile you seem to have forsaken. Where have all the coffees gone, with milk and cream and sugar? Now it's get up and make it yourself, you lazy stinking bugger. Your eyes the sun are nothing like, for there's no warmth within. You have gone, you say forever, and I hear nothing but the clatter of old leaves on stone floors. Sitting alone with my bottle of sauce. Knock, knock, who's there? No one, of course. Once upon a love, we spent our nights blowing kisses across the pillow. Now we spend them throwing plates across the kitchen. think I'm moaning or trying to protest, but do you really need another new dress? Why not smile? It's cheaper and just as pretty. And when death comes in with his zips undone, you'll give in as you've always done. Last night was your night out, and just before you went you put your scowls in a tumbler half filled with Sterident, so that they'd keep nice and fresh for me. Said I trusted you, spoke too soon, heard of your affair with the man in the moon. Say it's all over then, if you're right, why does he call at the house every night? I have a war on my hands. Each night I lie awake and snipe at terrorists who run naked through the steaming jungles of your dreams. I am on your side, but you don't care. You are asleep and unaware of my futile heroics. My fear is that one night I might fall asleep and you will be captured. My sorrow is that you probably wouldn't mind. Why else keep a white flag under your pillow? Once I paid the piper and called the tune, but one afternoon, returning home early from the office, I found you in bed with the piper. You called the last waltz, and now I dance sadly out of your life. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Monika, who's been eating my porridge while I've been away. My Quaker oats are nearly gone, but what have you got to say? Someone's been at my whiskey, taken the Jaguar keys, and Monika, another thing, whose trousers are these? I love and trust you, darling, can't really believe you'd flirt, but there's a strange man under the table, wearing only a shirt. There's someone in the bathroom, someone behind the door. The house is full of sexy men. Monika, don't you love me anymore? Monika, the tea things are taking over. The cups are as big as bubble cars, they throttle around the room. Tin openers skate on the greasy plates in the light of the silvery moon. The biscuits are having an ease up, they're necking in our bread bin. That's jazz you hear from the salt cellars, but they don't let non-members in. The egg spoons had our eggs for breakfast, the sauce bottles asleep in our bed. I overheard the knives and forks, it won't be long, they said. It won't be long, they said. It all started yesterday evening, as I was helping the potatoes off with their jackets. I heard you making a date with the kettle. I distinctly heard you making a date with the kettle. My kettle. Then at midnight, in the half-light, while I was polishing the blue speckles in a famous soap powder, I saw you fondling the frying pan. I distinctly saw you fondling the frying pan, my frying pan. Finally, at mid-dawn in the half-night, while waiting in the cool shadows beneath the sink, I saw you making love with the gas cooker. I distinctly saw you making love with the gas cooker, my gas cooker. My mistake was to leap upon you crying, "Monika, spare the saucers!" For now I'm alone, you having left me for someone with a bigger kitchen. In October, when winter the lodger the sod came a-knocking at our door, I set in a store of biscuits and whiskey. You filled the hot water bottle with tears, and we went to bed until spring. In April we arose, warm and smelling of morning. We kissed the sleep from each other's eyes and went out into the world. And now summer's here again, regular as the rent man. But our lives are now more ordered, more arranged. The kissing, wildly carefree times have changed. We no longer stroll along the beaches of the bed or snuggle in the long grass of the carpets. The room no longer a world for make-believing in, but a ceiling and four walls that are for living in. We no longer eat our dinner holding hands or neck in the back stalls of the television. The room no longer a place for hide and seeking in, but a container that we use for eat and sleeping in. Our love has become as comfortable as the jeans you lounge about in, or my old green coat, as necessary as the change you get from the milkman for a 10-bob note. Our love has become as nice as a cup of tea in bed, as simple as something the baby said. Monika, the sky is blue, the leaves are green, the birds are singing, the bells are ringing for me and my gal. The sun's as big as an ice cream factory, and the corn is as high as an elephant's. I could go on for hours about the beautiful weather we're having, but Monika, they don't make summers like they used to.